All right, if you're an e-commerce seller outside the EU and you've been thinking about getting into the Italian market, you are going to want to pay close attention. The Italian government has rolled out a major new rule, and you absolutely need to know what's going on.
Yeah, you're seeing that right. 50,000 euros. That's the number that has suddenly become a huge talking point for businesses just like yours planning their European expansion. Honestly, it's the kind of number that can stop a growth plan dead in its tracks.
So, what's the deal here? Is this really the new, non-negotiable price of admission for selling in Italy? Is it a barrier meant to keep you out? Well, that's exactly what we are going to unpack right now. What does this cost? Who really has to pay it? And most importantly, is there a way around it?
Okay, first things first. Let's get crystal clear on what this requirement actually is. Everyone's calling it a financial guarantee. And understanding what that really means, well, that's the first step to getting past it.
So here's the bottom line. Starting in April 2025, if your business is based outside the European Union or the European Economic Area and you need to get an Italian VAT number using a fiscal representative, you have to provide this guarantee. And look, this isn't a suggestion, it's a mandatory part of the whole process.
So what is this financial guarantee? The easiest way to think about it is like a big security deposit for the Italian government. They're asking you to put up 50,000 euros just to make sure that if, for whatever reason, you don't pay your VAT, they have a fund they can draw from. And get this, it's not some quick in and out deposit. You have to keep that guarantee active for at least 3 full years.
And you might be wondering, okay, does this really apply to me? Well, the targeting here is super specific. It's not just for the new kids on the block. It applies to any seller from outside the EU or EEA who uses an Italian fiscal rep. That means brand new businesses applying for a VAT number, and this is crucial, it also hits existing businesses that are already registered. Nobody gets a pass on this one.
So how do you actually do this? Well, the Italian Revenue Agency gives you 3 official options. You can go get a guarantee from a bank, you can buy what's called an insurance-backed bond, or you can deposit the money directly into Italian government bonds. But notice what all 3 of these have in common. They all involve tying up that pretty huge sum of 50,000 euros.
Okay, so you gotta be asking why. Why is Italy going through all this trouble? And maybe more importantly for you, what happens if you just ignore it? Understanding the why and the risks involved is totally key to making the right call for your business.
And that's a totally fair question, right? Why would a country make it harder for international businesses to come in and sell? It seems like it would just hurt business. Well, it's not quite what you might think. It's not about protectionism, it's really all about security.
Here's the main reason they're doing it. They're trying to fight something called carousel fraud, which is this really complex kind of tax evasion that costs governments across the EU billions of euros every year. So by making sellers put up this guarantee, Italy is basically creating a safety net. It ensures they can get their unpaid VAT back from sellers who might otherwise just disappear. It's all part of a bigger trend across Europe to get much tougher on VAT compliance. So listen, if there's one thing to get straight, it's this. Don't even think about this being optional. It's so easy to look at this and think, maybe I can find a way around it. But you can't. The sources are absolutely clear. This is now a hard and fast legal requirement. Okay, so let's talk consequences. What happens if you try to dodge this? Well, first up, you'll get kicked out of the VIS database. That's the official EU system for validating VAT numbers. Being removed from that is like a giant red flag to every tax authority in the EU that you're not compliant.
And it doesn't stop there. From there, it gets a lot worse. The Italian authorities can and will just cancel your VAT number altogether. And without that number, you can't legally do business in Italy. Period.
Which, of course, leads to the big one, the ultimate consequence for your business. Your sales into Italy, your imports into Italy, everything just stops. Your entire Italian operation gets put on ice, completely frozen.
And get this, it's not just your business that's in hot water. The authorities are putting massive pressure on your local partners, too. Fiscal representatives whose clients don't comply are facing some seriously eye-watering fines themselves, anywhere from 3,000 euros all the way up to 50,000 euros. That's right, the full value of the guarantee.
All right, I know, that all sounds pretty grim. A huge deposit, massive fines, it is a lot. But what if there was a better way? What if you could be fully compliant with the law, but without having to say goodbye to 50,000 euros of your working capital? Well, that's what we're going to look at right now.
This right here, this is the slide that changes the entire conversation. Look, on one side, you have the standard path.
Lock up 50,000 euros of your cash you need for inventory, for marketing, for 3 years. But then, look at the other path, the insurance-backed one. Instead of freezing your capital, you pay a small, one-time fee. It's just a fraction of the full amount. You stay compliant and you keep your capital right where it belongs, working to grow your business.
So let's just break down the benefits here, because they're huge. You get to keep your 50 grand. You still meet the 3-year rule. You are totally 100% compliant with Italian law. That means you get registered in the VAIS system, no problem. And the bottom line? You get to start selling in Italy way sooner, and with a whole lot less financial stress.
You know, there's a line from the source material that just completely nails it. This new rule, it might look like this giant wall designed to stop you in your tracks, but it doesn't have to. With the right strategy, the right support, it really doesn't need to hold you back at all.
So look, if you take away just one thing from all this, let it be this. Don't let that big, scary 50,000 euro number put you off the Italian market. Yes, the hurdle is real, but a simple, affordable, and completely legal strategy exists to help you clear it with ease.
You know, figuring out this whole Italian VAT situation is a perfect example of what global expansion is really all about. It shows that even a huge-looking obstacle can become just another manageable step in the process when you have the right information. So that really just leaves one question, doesn't it? What's the next barrier here ready to break through?